You think women will tell you straight up when they like you? Wrong. They don't need to say it. They let you realize it. But if you're the kind of guy who needs everything spelled out for him, sorry, you're never going to get the chance. The truth is, women show interest through subtle, quiet signals that are blatantly obvious if you know how to look. The problem is, most men don't see them. Or worse, they see them but don't trust what they're seeing. In this video, you'll get 6 unmistakable signs she's more interested in you than you think. Not the generic crap like she smiles at you a lot, but real behaviors. From subtle jealousy to starting conversations, to how she reacts when you go silent. If you've been wondering whether she likes you, stop guessing. Keep watching. The truth is right in front of you. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and like if you're new here. It helps me keep bringing you more valuable content. No woman is just around you by accident. There's no such thing as a coincidence, 3 times in 1 week. There's no, it was convenient to sit here if she doesn't care about you. Men miss blatantly obvious signs just because they can't believe someone's actually drawn to them. So they freeze, stay silent, waiting for a clearer sign. Meanwhile, the clearest sign is already right there. She's next to you, without needing a reason. Don't lie to yourself thinking it's just being polite. Women don't invest time and energy to repeatedly put themselves around a man they're not into. And if you're the type of guy still sitting there trying to figure out if it's just a coincidence, congrats, you just benched yourself. Women are highly selective by instinct, and it shows in how they randomly show up around men they see value in. If she finds you attractive, she'll appear close, like it's nothing, but everything's calculated. You know what's funny? A lot of guys think they're being proactive, when really, they're just walking into a game she already set in motion. She won't approach, confess, or invite you in, because that's not how feminine attraction works. But she will get close enough, often enough, and long enough to see if you've got the balls to move. That's her opening. And if you don't take it, she'll walk away fast, like you never existed. It's not random when she chooses the seat next to you, even though the table's empty. It's not fate when she starts showing up at your gym. It's not an accident when she smiles at you more than anyone else. These are all tests. She's speaking with her body, her eyes, her presence. I'm giving you an opportunity, but I won't spell it out. And if you don't understand that language, you deserve to lose. She's not afraid you'll reject her. She's afraid she just gave a signal to a coward. A man who won't act isn't sharp enough or clear enough. Women don't judge men by what they say, they judge by how they respond to opportunity. If you hesitate, overanalyze, or wait instead of moving, you're showing her you're not the man she's looking for. Women aren't drawn to indecision. They're drawn to decisiveness, a direct look, a steady voice, a move made without needing permission. I've seen way too many nice guys standing in the background, waiting, hoping, drowning in dumb questions like, do you think she likes me? The answer is right in front of you, but you're too scared to accept it. She likes you. She's entered your space. She gave you that look, the one she doesn't give anyone else. And you, still calculating the perfect moment? Stop. Perfection is an excuse for fear. You don't need to wait for 100% certainty, because by the time you get it, someone else has already made the move. So next time she's closer than she needs to be, or coincidentally sits beside you for the 2nd time that day, don't be an idiot. That's the sign. She's flipped the green light. The only question is, will you step forward, or keep sitting there hoping it gets even more obvious next time? There is no next time. The world doesn't wait for men who hesitate. Women never talk to men just for fun. If she starts the conversation, asks questions, throws out random little comments, and keeps looking for reasons to stay in the interaction, don't kid yourself that she's just being nice to everyone. Wrong. Women don't waste time on men they don't see potential in. And if she wants to keep talking to you, it means she's thinking about keeping you in her life. Look closely. When a girl starts with small questions like, do you come here often? What do? You into sports? It's not just curiosity. It's a silent interview, a data collecting process to figure out, are you worth investing in emotionally? And if you respond like a dead fish, show no energy, or act like you don't care, congrats, you just slammed shut the door she was trying to open. There's a mistake way too many men make. They think women talk a lot because they just love to chat. No. When a woman talks to you, don't assume it's because she's a talker. It's because you made her want to talk. She doesn't need to say a word if you're not pulling her in. But once she starts going on, telling long, meandering stories with no clear point, you've unlocked a part of her mind she doesn't open for just anyone. Women use words to shrink the emotional distance. If she wants to keep talking, she wants to be closer. Period. Have you ever noticed she doesn't rush to end a call? That the last text is almost always from her? That she suddenly remembers, oh wait, one more thing, right when you're about to wrap up the chat? That's a sign. She's feeling safe enough to open up, trying to hold your attention, testing how you respond to growing closeness. The question is, are you sharp enough to recognize it? Or are you still sitting there thinking, maybe she just sees me as someone to vent to? Don't ever underestimate the weight of an extended conversation. In a world where people swipe past each other like TikTok ads, time is currency. If she's giving you attention, she could be spending on literally hundreds of other more dopamine-heavy options. Movies, social media, shopping, even another man. Then you've already carved out some real estate in her mind. But if you don't hold it, it will get replaced. And when it does, don't act confused by the sudden silence. Initiating conversation is a form of emotional investment. She's planting seeds. If you don't water them, nothing grows. You don't have to be a smooth talker or some pickup line genius. You just have to be present, listen, respond with intent, and most importantly, make her feel like every word she says carries weight. Don't murder the moment with short, dry, low-effort replies. Don't make her carry all the emotional energy in every exchange. Women will pull back fast if they feel like they're talking to a ghost. Want to know if she's really into you? Pay attention to whether she tries to sustain the connection. It's not about texting 24/7 or FaceTiming until 3 a.m., but if she's always the one leaving the final word, always trying to keep the thread alive, you're getting close. She's not doing that with every guy. And if you're the one getting that effort, you better realize where you stand. So the next time she repeats a story, revisits a detail she already knows, or finds a reason to add just one more thing, don't be annoyed. That's not aimless chatter. That's opportunity. She doesn't want to leave the space you're creating. And when a woman wants to stay, the worst thing you can do is let her go unnoticed by being emotionally absent in return. Stop wasting another day living in weakness and chaos. Subscribe to Stoic Success now to build an unbreakable mindset, master your emotions, and face life like a warrior. Women don't randomly bring up their relationship status. When she says things like, I don't have anyone right now, I've been single for a while, or kinda over dating lately, that's not information. That's an invitation. Not for your pity, not so you can play therapist, but for you to do something. She's opening a door, not a welcome mat, a test. She wants to know if you're man enough to walk through it. And here's the sad part. Most guys stand there, see the door open, and turn away. Because they don't get it, or worse, they're too scared to admit they do. They tell themselves she's probably just sharing her feelings. No, she's placing you in a potential position, deliberately but subtly. A woman doesn't announce her single status unless she's considering the idea of not being single anymore. That's a conditional signal. It's not for everyone. She's not dropping it into every casual conversation. She says it when she sees a reason to, and you're that reason. Guys who don't get this usually shrug it off like it's no big deal. They hear it, and they do nothing. They let the moment die right there on the table because they think it'd be weird to say something, or it's too early to make a move. No, this isn't about being polite or appropriate. This is when you need to snap out of it and realize, when a woman shares that she's single, she's checking your reaction. She's looking to see if you'll respond like a man, not a spectator. And if you're thinking, she probably says that to all her close guy friends, ask yourself this. Why are you in that circle close enough for her to say it? Reality check. Women don't vent about being single to just any guy. They only do that with men they quietly suspect might be able to change that. Translation? If she told you, you're a candidate. Here's where it gets tricky. Women don't want to confess. They want you to get it without them having to say it. They want you to move without being pushed. If you don't, they won't ask twice. They'll go silent, and the moment will be gone. You won't be rejected, you'll just be forgotten. And that's the most brutal kind of humiliation, knowing you missed something real, because you didn't have the balls to step up. So when she drops the line that she's still single, don't let hesitation mute you. Let your body language speak for you. Show her that you're not just some dude listening. You're the guy who could change that. A confident look, a real, no BS comment, a bold invite with a masculine edge. It doesn't have to be cheesy or romantic, it just has to be assertive. Because if you don't move, someone else will. And you'll sit there watching the same woman, the one who gave you the clearest signal a man could ask for, end up with someone no smarter than you, no better than you, but who had the courage to act when you didn't. And then you'll think, man, I should have said something. But the chance is gone. Women don't wait forever. They drop the hint once. If you miss it, they don't explain, they disappear. Quietly, cleanly, like a breeze. Not loud, but cold enough to make you realize hesitation is weakness. One of the clearest signs a woman is into you is when she remembers things you didn't even realize you said. Not love confessions, not grand dreams, but the random stuff, the throwaway comments. You like your coffee black. You broke your leg in 7th grade. You hate alarm clock sounds. You always wear your watch on the right wrist even though you're left-handed. She remembers. And you think that's a coincidence? Men often value big gestures, but women operate through details. She doesn't need a reason to remember something about you. She remembers because you matter. Nobody stores irrelevant data in their emotional memory. A forgettable man gets heard and forgotten. But if you leave even the smallest mark, a random story told in a noisy cafe, it stays with her. No effort required. Here's the brutal truth. Most men don't notice this. She brings up something from weeks ago and they just smirk, clueless that behind that casual callback is a massive green light. She doesn't remember that song, that snack, that one-liner from 2 a.m. just for fun. That's her way of showing interest, elegantly. And here's where it hurts. If you don't catch it, don't respond to it, or worse, don't value it, she will stop. Not because she's hurt, but because she's disappointed. She won't waste emotional energy on someone who doesn't understand the weight of her subtle effort. You don't have to double the gesture or stage some Hollywood love scene. You just need to notice. She's choosing to remember you over 100 other pleasant distractions. She's not doing it because she's bored. She's doing it because you've claimed space in her mind. And a woman's mind, once you're allowed in, is not a place for careless men. She won't spell everything out, but she watches closely. She'll note whether you like the window seat or the back corner. She'll remember that you hate the rain, but love the smell of wet earth. She'll sense when you're tired, even if you haven't said a word. Don't brush that off. That's not female sensitivity. That's a radar she only turns on for men she sees emotional value in. If you recognize this and act accordingly, you'll witness something powerful. She'll start investing more. She'll remember more. Give more. Not because you asked, but because she feels you're worth it. But if you dismiss it, ignore it, or take that subtle care for granted, you'll see her withdraw so fast you won't even know what hit you. Because when a woman realizes she's been remembering the wrong man, she'll erase it all with one psychological flick. And you, once the man she remembered, will become someone she never mentions again. Don't wait until it's too late. If she remembers even the tiniest thing about you today, understand, you are the exception. Don't turn yourself into just another forgettable man by failing to recognize what sets you apart. If you've ever had a woman ask you, "Who's that girl?" or drop a half-joking line like, "You must have girls lining up for you," congrats, you just crossed into the first level of jealousy. And jealousy doesn't show up unless she cares. But if you don't recognize it or handle it right, you'll lose the privilege. Women don't get jealous over every guy. They only get jealous when they feel there's something to lose. And if you're the reason she's feeling a little insecure, that means you matter more than she wants to admit. She'll never outright say she's jealous. Don't expect a soap opera meltdown. She won't throw her phone or interrogate you like a cop. Instead, she'll slide it in, a quick side eye, a playful but pointed comment, a pause in her expression when you laugh a little too hard with another woman. That's not pettiness. That's emotional investment. She's paying attention, and she wants to see what you'll do with that attention. This is a test, a very feminine one. If you laugh it off, ignore it, or worse, lean into it to prove you're in demand, you just failed. Women don't throw jealousy your way so you can flaunt your desirability. They do it to see if you're anchored. If you act like some boy desperate for attention, chasing validation, you just told her she can't trust you to hold your ground. But if you respond like a man, if you catch the subtext, meet her eyes, and reply with calm confidence, watch her expression shift. From unsure to assured, from guarded to soft. Because she's not asking for an explanation. She wants to feel that you don't get pulled by every short skirt that walks by. You don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to swear loyalty. You just need to show, through presence and tone, that you're steady. That while the world might offer distractions, you're not easily moved. Women will throw you a jealous glance, not because they want you to prove something with words, but because they want to feel something from your energy, from your tone, from the way you handle them when they're vulnerable, from knowing they don't have to compete because you already made it clear, without saying it, that they're not just another option. And make no mistake, if she never gets jealous, never asks who you're with, never bats an eye when you talk to other girls, there are only two reasons. One, she doesn't care at all. Two, she used to care, but you missed the signal and she pulled away. Both are bad. The first means you never had a shot. The second means you did and blew it with your obliviousness. Jealousy is a sign of connection, a signal that you've been moved into a meaningful category. Nobody gets jealous out of politeness. Nobody worries about losing what they don't value. She's waiting to see how you handle being marked emotionally. And if you treat it like a joke, you don't deserve it next time. So the next time she asks about another girl, don't just answer the question. Read what's behind it. Are you serious about this? And if the answer is yes, show her, like a man. No theatrics, no fear, no bullshit. Just enough presence, enough calm, enough you're safe with me to make her stop being jealous. Not because you silenced it, but because you gave her no reason to doubt you ever again. Women don't react to things they don't care about. If a woman is genuinely into you, she will never stay indifferent when you go quiet. If you disappear for a while and she starts texting first, checking in, liking your posts in a flurry, or even dropping a sarcastic line like "busy these days, huh?" Don't be stupid enough to think that's just being polite. Women don't break silence out of courtesy. They break it because they feel something. If she gets bothered by your indifference, you've impacted her emotions more than you think. Men often underestimate the power of silence. They think, so what if I don't text? But to a woman, silence is a signal, and she reads it instinctively. If she has feelings for you, your silence won't go unnoticed. It will be interpreted, overanalyzed, and sometimes even hurt her. Because she's expecting something from you. Even if it's small, a text, a check-in, a simple reaction to her latest post. Anything that says, "I'm still here." And when you disappear without a word, she feels unsettled. And that unsettled feeling comes from real emotional investment. But here's the kicker. She won't come out and say, "I'm sad." She won't call you at midnight to explain her disappointment. She'll send subtle signals, a random check-in, a cryptic story post, a shared memory, or sometimes complete silence, just to see if you'll notice. Women don't need daily texts. They don't need you glued to their phones. They just want to feel that you're still engaged, that you still care. When you cut that connection without explanation, they'll fill in the blanks. And it usually won't go in your favor. And when you try to come back, the door might not be open anymore. She reacts strongly to your silence because you matter. She's not checking in on just anyone. She's not casually following up with guys she doesn't care about. But once she's emotionally invested in your presence, your absence becomes a form of loss. Maybe a small one, but enough to leave her uneasy. And that means you've entered dangerous territory, her psychological space. If you respect that space, you'll go deeper. If you take it for granted, you'll be shut out without a warning. Let me make this clear. Women don't expect you to be available 24/7. They don't need you to entertain them, text every 10 minutes, or compliment every photo. They just want to know that when they let you in, you're not going to walk out like a boy playing games. Indifference is the mark of someone who doesn't deserve to be there. And if you're just pretending to be busy to see if she cares, you're playing a childish game. Women don't need to be tested. They need to be led. And if she finds herself initiating way too often, she'll start to question, am I lowering my standards for someone who's not even clear about what he wants? She's already shown more courage than you realize. When a woman breaks the silence, she's putting down her ego. She's trying to keep you in the picture. She's holding on to something she believes might go somewhere. But if you don't see it, don't respond. Or worse, keep acting like some sulking kid. Don't wonder why one day she vanishes. And this time, it's real. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. And when that day comes, you might scroll back through old messages and realize who kept the connection alive, who always reached out first, who once reacted because you mattered. But by then, it's too late, because once a woman learns how to not need you anymore, she never needs you again. Men want clarity. Women speak in signals. And because most men never learn to read those signals, they throw away something real, out of fear, slowness, or disbelief that they were actually being chosen. These 6 signs aren't accidents. They're invitations without open doors. If you ignore them, misread them, or worst of all, dismiss them, don't be surprised when she walks away without a sound. You don't need a perfect moment. You don't need confirmation. You just need the awareness to see what's happening and the balls to act on it. Women always leave a trail, clues, openings, signals. You either learn to read the map, or you stay a spectator while someone else lives the life that should have been yours. The world doesn't reward hesitation. She already showed up. She already opened the door. She already gave you what no one else gets. The only question left is, are you man enough to recognize it and step forward? Or will you once again stand there, watching another man take what you were too slow to claim? Thank you for being here. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment so we can spread positivity together.